let's talk about the top 100 players in the NFL because the Giants actually apparently have two of them, which, let me be very frank, that's not very good for us. There's 32 teams in the league, top 100 players. We should have at least three. But two at least make it to the top 100 players in all of the NFL. So those two players, probably no surprise whatsoever. Dexter Lawrence, who comes in at number 29, and Malik Nabors, who comes in at 45. Now, Malik Nabors, yeah, that's probably about right. That's probably about right there. Dexter Lawrence, that does seem a little, too down the list for me. I can't think there's 28 players better than Dexter Lawrence. We just talked about it before. He's a top 5 defensive player of the year candidate to one guy, but now he's the 29th best player in the league. He's got to be considered a top 15 player just because of where he plays and what he does. It's just not common. Now, this was based off the list that Pete Prisco did for the CBS Sports there. Here's what he wrote on each. For Dex, he said, Big Dex mixed time with injury last year, but he was a force before being sent to the sidelines. He can play the run as well as anybody, but he can also push the pocket. He's a massive force inside. And then, by the way, he was number 19 last year. 19. You tell me how it makes any sense that a guy who played 12 games, gets 9 sacks, still is a beast on the running game, and drops from 19 to 29. That's a damn big drop, guys. May not seem it to some people, but I'll say point blank, that's a damn big drop. Name me one part of Dexter Lawrence's game that was worse last year than the prior. I can't think of a damn thing besides obviously his availability, the injury thing that happened. You can't drop down a guy for hitting his very first injury like that in his career. Like, he's never been a guy to miss time. To take him down 10 spots because of that, that's what it is. I got to think it's the only thing they said negative. Absolutely insanity. Now, if Nabors, Briscoe writes, as a rookie, Nabors had 109 catches playing in an offense with major quarterback issues. As that position gets better, so will his numbers. He averaged 11 yards per catch, but he has more big play ability than that number would indicate. And he damn sure does. I mean, could you imagine if he just even got 13 yards per game, which is, that's, I'm not going crazy. I'm not saying jumping from 11 to 30, like nothing insane like that. That right there is 218 more yards of receiving right there alone. Just 2 yards difference. That's why we keep saying, like, you get this kid a legit quarterback, and hopefully we have one now. And all of a sudden, you got a guy who is an all-pro type of receiver. Because if you put those numbers on him, I said 2 yards at that point. So you're talking 218 yards additional at that point. You get 2 yards per catch, just additional. You're at that point, 1,422 yards on the season. That's a legit number. So this is a kid that literally, I'm telling you right now, I would not be shocked at all to see him potentially start grabbing more Giants records. If you look at the catch record, he already has that, obviously. The receiving yards is 1,536 with Victor Cruz. That's pretty damn good right there. Now, that's possible, though. If he's 1,422 yards last year with just 2 more yards per catch, and now he's going to a spot where you got a much better quarterback. I know it's just going to hurt you, Jay, to hear that, but Russell Wilson is a much better quarterback. That's pretty damn good. And if he can get a couple more catches, get those 2 yards, he's right there. And, by the way, his rookie year, he literally had the 9th most yards at that point than anybody else ever put on the Giants uniform. That's, again, pretty damn good. Now, here's the thing. Yards per reception. Only one person had under 12 yards per reception. That's on the top 10 list of the Giants, by the way. And that's Steve Smith, who had 11.4 yards per reception back in 2009. If you look at this list, everybody else is like 14, 15, 16, 18, to the ridiculous 24.7 yards per catch for Homer Jones back in 1967. So that's damn good. That's for him to get what he got in the situation he was in. I'm telling you, he's going to make a climb on this list next year, I think. I really do. And I'm not going to blame them for putting him 45. I don't think that's crazy whatsoever. I really don't. But, we'll have to see what he does in the offense, how the offense does to him. They target him less maybe and try to spread the ball out more. That's always a possibility too. But I think he's going to have a hell of a season. Jace's Nabors ceiling is 3, right under Jamar and Justin. Depends on injuries too. Like Jamar Chase has had his injury issues. He hasn't necessarily been healthy for a lot of seasons here, during his career. I mean, I a lot of times he's missed. So 2 out of his 4 seasons, he didn't get over 12. He didn't get over 1,250 yards. So, who knows what's going to happen. And he's played a lot through his injuries too. I'll give him the credit on that. But Jamar Chase, you don't know. You don't know what season he's going to have. I mean, look at his numbers here: 1,455 yards, 1,046, 1216, 1708. You don't know what you're getting. And again, it's because he's nursing a lot of injuries. And he'll play through them. A lot of times he will. I'll give him the credit for that. He's only had the one season he missed, 5 games there. But he's definitely had some injury issues, that's for sure. And he says, how many wide receivers get crazy stats and terrible offense with terrible quarterback play? Super rare. Damn straight. And that's why I can't put a ceiling on him. I can't, because I haven't seen him in even an average offense. Like I said, a lot of these guys, and that you look at that list, we're getting 15 yards. 15. So let's say he starts doing 15 yards even at that point, the 109 catches. That puts him at 1,635 yards. That'd be ridiculous. That'd be a Giants record for yards. That'd be potentially league leading for yards. That'd be pretty damn impressive there. And he's got that ability. Do I expect that? I don't think I expect it. I'm expecting like 1,400 yards. I think that's probably what I'm thinking with him. But I wouldn't be shocked if he starts doing 1,700 yards. He's got that kind of skill, guys. He is that good. Again, just seeing what he did with a cruddy quarterback and also being injured how much last year himself. Because I'm going to say that about Chase. I can't not say that about Nabors, by the way. He's got his chance that he's going to get healthy and be much better because of that part of it as well. But he's also got the chance he gets hurt himself again. And then we have a letdown from him. Hopefully not. But we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But like I said, at least 2 of the Giants getting recognition. I do think that probably should have had Brian Burns in there as well. I think he's definitely a top 100 player, though I do think he's much further down the line than Nabors and Lawrence is. He probably made like an honorable mention for him. He did actually throw a couple rookies in his honorable mentions, and Abdul Carter was on that list. So, we could easily have next year 4, maybe 5 if Andrew Thomas is healthy actually on that list, because all those guys do have enough talent to be on that list. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there with this.
Thanks for watching. Like the show? Of course you do, or you would have turned it off by now and not be hearing me. There are plenty of ways to support the show. YouTube is the best place to join us, and we offer memberships there with fun benefits like custom emojis and early access to video clips. Of course, there you can also send super chats and stickers to send one-time support payments. The best way to support the show is to buy these drunk idiots beers at buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs. Along with one-time support payments, there are also monthly plans, so you can continue to help kill their livers each month. You can also show people that you are a goofball by visiting our store at 2giantgoofballs-shop.fourthwall.com. We got everything from shirts, hats, phone cases, funny candles, buttons, stickers, and even a 2 giant goofballs towel to dry off your goofballs. Of course, you can always support the show for free by simply hitting the like, subscribe, and share button wherever you are watching or listening to this. Hit the thumbs up on YouTube. Leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. It helps the show tremendously, and quite frankly, the goofballs suck at marketing and need your help to get the word out. Thank you for being part of the Goofball Army and for taking the time out to support the show.
If you like that clip, then you will love the full episodes too. Find us on your favorite podcast app and look for us on all your favorite social media platforms.
Thanks so much.
Please, I'm begging you. Please subscribe.